Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of CEO Talks. And now here to my right, I have a very, very special guest. His name is Andres Contreras. He went from zero to over $200,000 per month just doing sales, which is crazy to think about. How you doing, brother?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now here to my left, I have my business partner, Omar.
I gotta give him a handshake too.
Omar, brother, introduce yourself for the people that don't know you, and then we're gonna start everything.
Yeah, my name is Omar. I do marketing. That's pretty much it, bro. We'll dive deeper into
Well,
the
let's
podcast.
go and get it going, bro. All right, so brother, for the people that don't know you, they want to know, how did an 18-year-old, about 18, 17?
Hey, just turned 18.
How did an 18-year-old, well, 17, build a multi-seven-figure business at such a young age? And how did you start the whole thing? Talk to us, bro. We're going to dive deep into it.
I think to simplify it, from a very, very early age, I was always extremely competitive. And and I think a lot of people know what I'm talking about. It's that raw wanting to just fucking win and just tear people apart.
Okay.
And at the beginning, it became soccer for me. And so I ended up going semi-pro, played for like a month, whatever, and then I broke my arm down my ulna, my radius, and it twisted 180 degrees backward and turned to the side. So it's not pretty. And then that caused me to be like, okay, well now I have all this competitiveness, all this energy, where do I put it? And so that's when I first got into the SMMA, business, marketing, that entire game. And then eventually that fell apart.
Who got you into it? Was it someone, a mentor?
It was a guy named Dylan Wilson, a YouTube video from him.
Okay.
I do not support or decline in any fashion, but it was him originally, one of his videos. And so I got into it, got that to 36K a month. Eventually it fell apart because I realized I don't know how to fucking run a business at that point, some random kid. And so after that fell apart, I decided to go into the sales space. And then that led to me dropping out of high school, running away from home, moving halfway across the country without telling my parents, and just putting my back against the wall 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for a year.
At what age did you move?
When I was 16.
Holy fuck.
So first of all, how do you have that type of mindset to just move and take everything?
You know what's crazy? I thought about this literally this morning. When I was in that moment, it didn't even feel like a crazy thing to do.
Okay.
Like it's weird because when you're so focused on like, I don't have any other option, I will win, I will find a way, the craziest things seem normal. So when I moved away, it almost like didn't register in my brain. Like I just ran away from home. My parents are wondering where the fuck I am. Like that didn't register.
You got to be quick to make any type of decisions.
Yeah, but looking back on it now, I was like, yeah, it's a pretty crazy thing to do.
You know something? Actually, believe it or not, that's a common trait between all of us three. I moved away from home. He did the same thing. About 18 years old. He pulled up to Dallas. Without thinking about it, he said, you know what, buy me a plane ticket. I'll be there. Same thing with me, bro. I moved all the way from New York, DC, and that's where my car got stolen. And I have a bad memories from DC. After that, I moved to Colombia. I did a bunch of things that I really don't want to talk about. And then that's when I moved to Dallas. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. Dallas has been my home base where I think that I'm gonna retire pretty soon. But that's the common trait that a lot of people have, especially if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur. All of us took massive amount of risk for us to get to the place that we're at.
Absolutely.
So can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, risk is honestly like everything, because you have two choices. You can you're always growing or you're dying, but most people, if you're always growing, it's like, most people grow little bit by little bit by little bit, going to class, doing this, doing that. The only way to make big leaps in your progress is by taking massive risk. Because then that's the only time when you're doing things that other people aren't willing to do. And naturally, whenever you're doing other things that people aren't willing to do, you get results that other people aren't gonna get. And so for me, in my mind, it was like, well, if I just take these incremental little jumps, I'll improve, but I'm gonna improve at the same rate as everybody else, and I can't have that.
And so that's average.
Exactly. So that's what led to me deciding, like, okay, I'm gonna run away from home. I'm gonna drop out of high school. I'm gonna work 18 hours a day. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. The other people aren't willing to do. And then that obviously led to the results, which speak for themselves. But that came all because of that risk tolerance in the first place.
Okay. What was the initial thoughts or like the initial conversation that you had with your mom and dad after you moved?
Well, there wasn't really a conversation. That was kind of the issue.
Well, it was afterwards. I'm saying afterwards. What happened? What did he tell you?
My first time speaking with them, like an actual conversation after that, was probably 3 months after.
Okay.
Because before then, obviously they were pissed at me. Like I was having to plan, like I sent them a video of at my birthday, everybody seeing me happy birthday, so they would think I was all safe and stuff. When we run clubs, like doing things to make them feel like I was safe, even though I knew they were pissed at me, obviously. And so that transition, then eventually after a couple of months, they saw the money coming in and everything, and they were like, okay, I mean, he made the right decision. I actually think all along, they knew I was doing the right thing for me. They were just so scared of losing me and wanting to protect me that they didn't want me to do, even though the thing that they knew I should do.
Well, at 16, you moved. You're still in school, no?
No.
You dropped out of school?
I dropped out of school. Yeah. I actually figured, so in Texas, it's illegal to drop out.
What the fuck?
So I had to find a loophole in the Texas system where I registered into an online school that cost $7,000 a year, paid for it out of pocket, and it's a national online school. Yeah, when I was
you just
16.
had $7K just lying or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was like a good amount of money for me back then.
Okay, yeah.
But then I paid the $7K for the online school. It was a national online school, all United States.
Yeah.
So that's when I moved to Arizona, declared my residency in Arizona, and in Arizona you're allowed to drop out of high school.
Okay.
So then that's when I dropped out, and then a couple months later I came back to Houston, and I was not in high school anymore. And actually my first like 3 or 4 months back in Texas were technically illegal because you have to be registered in high school. And I wasn't registered.
That is
I still don't have my degree, diploma, GED,
So
nothing.
back then, what did your friends think about you, like you dropping out?
They try to convince me otherwise. And I mean, those people aren't my friends anymore.
I was gonna say, because it's the same thing with your mom and dad. Let's say that you actually talked to your mom and dad before you dropped out. 2 things can happen. One of them, which I don't think is gonna happen, they're gonna be like, okay, son, you know what, drop out. Do whatever you wanna do, which is not gonna happen. We all know that's not happening.
They're both professors.
Oh, even worse. Or the second.
What the fuck? You didn't get, bro. You were extra cooked then, bro.
Yeah, no, I was completely. I spoke to them about it. So I want to understand. A lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, he's a terrible son." And yeah, probably yeah. But like, I literally told them, I was like, "I need to do this. I need to do this. Like, this is the right thing for me." Blah blah blah. And multiple conversations, they still said no.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, I kind of got to do it anyways."
Going with that, I was gonna tell you the second option that they had was they're trying to convince you not to do it, right?
Yeah.
And which we both know that that's not gonna happen regardless.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
thing is, there's no point in convincing
there's-
anyone.
there's-
There's no point in convincing. They're gonna say no anyways. Like you
Yeah.
either decide to like play inside of their box or you decide to like get the fuck out. Like that's why like I didn't tell my parents when I was moving. I booked the flight one day before I told them, and I just dipped. Like that was it. There's no convincing them.
Bro,
They're
the
gonna
way-
say no regardless.
The way that me and him, like we went about it was like a year ago, bro. I asked him, I actually just FaceTimed. I was like, bro, are you serious? You trying to take your life to the next level? He said, yeah. Book me a flight. I'll be there tomorrow. I thought that he was lying. I booked him a flight. Actually, even worse, I gave him my credit card. I said, bro, do not spend it on nothing. I don't know how I trusted him. I gave him my credit card, my business credit card, and then like couple like 20 minutes went by. Transaction for American Airlines, first class. I'm like, oh, bro.
Yeah, bro, I was there, bro.
Nowhere to spend.
Yeah,
I was
bro.
like, okay, I guess. And then next morning, I had to go to the airport. I picked him up, and yeah, that's how everything turned out to be.
One thing I'll say about it as well, I'll speak to you guys now. A lot of people have issues with their parents and other people, and they think, oh, it's their fault. Why don't they understand? Why don't they believe in me? What you have to understand is when you haven't had any success yourself yet, you don't have a right. Like, how entitled do you have to be like, yeah, they have to believe in me. They have to support in me to drop out and everything else when you haven't fucking done anything with your life.
There's no conviction.
You can't expect them to.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have the right to demand that from somebody.
You're right.
And so at that point, now I have a much better relationship than I did back then. Because back then I used to argue with them all the time and everything else.
Yeah.
And foundationally, all of it was because of money. When you really think about it. Like, oh, you can't go out to this party with your friends. You can't do this because you have school tomorrow. You can't do that. You can't do that. They have a right to say that. Yeah. I'm not making my money. I'm not providing for myself. They're paying for all my shit. They're the ones keeping me safe. Yeah. Now that I do my own shit and I keep myself safe, I go wherever the fuck I want. I do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And so the relationship dramatically improved after that.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of it, it's like a lot of people, especially our age, have an entitlement of like, oh, I deserve this because parents are supposed to provide for their kids, which they are, but they're also supposed to keep them safe and tell them what the fuck to do. It's even in the Bible. I'm Christian. It doesn't matter if you believe or not. Like that's a foundational principle.
No, we do.
And so, yeah, I think a lot of it comes from leaving that entitlement and being like, well, now it's up to me to do what I have to fucking do to be my own man, to where now I can make my own decisions, and that relationship dramatically improves.
How was your first month you trying to make it out of the trenches? You after moving from city to city, trying to make it out. How was it?
First month was pretty good, but that was only because I already ran my SMMA and agency before. So like I knew some people, had some money, etc. So first month I think I did 13,000 in commission or something like that.
Okay.
Which isn't like amazing, but like it was good enough for me to be like, okay, I'm safe. I'm good.
Yeah.
And so then it just went up from there. And it was working those fucking crazy hours. My back was against the wall. I was like, I don't have a high school diploma now, so if this doesn't work, I'm cooked.
That's the best way to put yourself back against the wall, bro. You know that there's no other option rather than you move forward.
Yeah, and then very soon, in an Inc. 500 company doing 40 mil a year, I was not only the number one guy in the entire company, but I was out-collecting the rest of that team combined all at once.
Damn.
But again, that was because of the 18 hours a day, knowing all the best people, work it, like, et cetera. And so, and now obviously in Impact, now they're all in Impact, we all get to work together, which is the beauty of it. But yeah, so I mean, from that journey, then it ended up with me being the best guy to where eventually you reach a point. I think there's kind of a threshold where at the beginning it's risky because it's like, if this doesn't work, even if you're making 20 grand a month, if it doesn't work, 20 grand a month isn't a lot of money. Like you're still kind of cooked. And so like realistically. So then after that, you hit a threshold though, where your skill is so good and you made so much and you have so many connections that it's like, it does not matter what happens, I will be fine.
Yeah.
Unless you're Sam Millsap. But besides that, anybody else, you hit a threshold, you have the skill, you know the people, you have the network and everything else, and it's like, okay, now I'm good. Like, there's nothing that could happen to me that would prevent me from making multi-six figures a year for the rest of my life. There's nothing.
Okay, so
that's worst case.
Quick question: how did you end up in sales? There's many avenues. You got real estate, you got crypto, you got e-commerce. Especially nowadays, everyone's promoting drop shipping, trading.
Yeah.
Like, how did you choose sales rather than anything else?
I think the beauty of it is if you look at drop shipping or business or any of those, it's like it's either 0 or 100. Yep. Like you either dead broke, make nothing, and then something clicks and you get to 100K a month.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
But with sales, the beauty of it is even if you're complete shit, it's a progression. So my first month, my second month, my third month, I can make $500, $1,000, $1,500, but at least it gives you momentum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then if you work hard and you're really good, then eventually that momentum can scale the exact same way it does in a business.
Okay.
So like Yash, for example, was making 120K a month in straight commissions at 18, a business partner. Hunter, dude that I fucking trained, 5th month on Committed Coaches, a fitness offer doing outbound. Last month he did $107,000 in commissions, like income as a sales rep.
Crazy.
And so not his own offer, nothing, actual commissions. Yeah. And so it still scales up. You can go very, very high. Now it does hit a cap. Really getting past 100 and trying to scale past there is kind of useless. And so then from there you can start a business, you can do whatever you want. But it gives you an easy way to gain momentum very quickly, which I think is the biggest reason people quit. You go into business, you work your ass off for 6 months, see 0 results. Little did you know, month 7 you would have been at 100K a month. But now you quit.
Crazy.
But in sales, it's like if you constantly build that momentum, at least you have enough money to live. You have enough money to have that momentum of like, I'm going to keep going. Yeah. Exactly.
So how many business did you try? Because for at least me, I tried I tried everything: e-commerce, day trading, shit, eBay dropshipping, bro. I'm telling you, I went through the mud, and I even served in the military, which is 4 years of my life.
Yeah, that's fucking amazing.
I tried, bro, everything on the fucking
Funny,
line.
I told myself if I did not make business work before I was 18, if I was not making 20 grand a month by the time I was 18, I was going to go to the military. I swore to myself, and everybody around me knew that. If I did not make 20 grand a month by the time I was 18, I would go to the military.
Which branch?
I didn't even know. I was like, I'm just going to be fucking
it.
somewhere. My brother was in the Marine Academy, so I assumed
you told me that. That's crazy. So how's your relationship with your brother?
It's really good. It's improved dramatically. I think people who put their family under the bus are kind of pieces of shit, to be honest. Yeah. Like everybody has their own things that they're really good at in their own ways. My brother, for example, he doesn't make a lot of money, but it's because he doesn't want to. Yeah. My brother is insanely smart. Both of them. My middle brother, especially mechanically, dude, he was building boats, fucking motorcycles when he was 16 years old. Like he's a mechanical fucking genius. He works on helicopters now. Doesn't even have a license. Actually, I don't know if I should fucking say that. But, like, he is a mechanical genius, bro. My oldest brother, he's a software engineer, insanely good at what he does. Like, he's in the top 1% of software engineers.
The whole family's got it, bro.
Well, like, it all came from a mindset, though. Like, even my dad, he's a professor, but he's a phenomenal, like, he spoke in front of the UN Council, for example. Obviously, he didn't get paid enough for it. He didn't get paid anything for it. But, like, it's still really cool shit. So, I think my relationship with them is great because they all understand what they want to do, and they all do it to the best of their ability, even if it's not necessarily what I would do or what I'm in agreement with. My middle brother has a phenomenal girlfriend, Sarah. Shout out, Sarah, if you're watching this. And they love each other. They fucking go on hikes and do cool shit all the time. He doesn't make a lot of money, but he doesn't want to.
It all depends on what type of fulfillment they find.
Exactly.
Yeah, because us, we find fulfillment on sales, we find fulfillment on our business. It could be for them, they find fulfillment on their typical 9 to 5. If it has
one thing I will say though, I do believe that it's very difficult to get fulfillment out of those things like a 9 to 5 and everything else, unless you have a higher purpose with it. My dad, for example, he works with stroke patients who are like paralyzed, disabilitated, and helps them regain movement. So somebody like that, like, yeah, you can get a shit ton of fulfillment out of that, even if he doesn't get paid a lot for it. Yeah. My middle brother, for example, I think either when he has a kid or when he wants to start having a kid or something, I think there's gonna be something that clicks inside of him that goes, I wanna start a business now, or I wanna make more money, I wanna have a bigger impact, and then he's gonna do that. I genuinely believe. So like, I think there is rights and wrongs. That doesn't mean you don't respect somebody and also respect their journey. Meaning right now, with where he's at, cool, perfectly fine. Once he's planning to have a kid and everything else, I have a very strong belief that he's gonna end up being like, yo, Andres, like, how can I fucking get into this world? And he's gonna do amazing.
Let me get into it. Yeah. Have you had any friends from high school telling you, hey, bro, put me on?
Yeah.
Show me how to do this.
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
That. What do you think
zero
about
from high school? Bro, he was like fucking 1 year in high school, bro.
Yeah, I tried putting like 2 or 3 of them on, but they just ended up being lazy pieces of shit. Yeah. One of them, won't say his name, 2 of them actually. One of them actually started working at it, et cetera. Then he started playing fucking Brawl Stars all the time, like wasting his time. Yeah. It's like, the fuck are you doing? And so I kind of gave up. I was like,
that's the thing.
I paid for his food. I did everything. I took him out. I fuck everything. And then there's the second kid that was also friends with him. And then one day they called me and they're like, oh, I'm going to this university. This was like 6 months ago, I think. And I was like, never fucking heard of it. Like, what do you want me to say? Okay. And then he got all mad at me. He texted me after, dude, that was so rude. Like, you have to respect our journey. And I was like, motherfucker, if you could be making fucking 10K a month or 100K a month or anything even close to that, would you still want to fucking go to college? No. So the only thing stopping you is being a lazy piece of shit. Nothing else.
One thing that I can tell you is, even from my experience, I'm pretty sure you guys can both say yes or no, but whenever you give out free information to others, they don't seem to appreciate it. They honestly don't. And
Absolutely.
then at that point, they're like, you know what? Whatever you're providing doesn't work.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Now, I think there is caveats to it where you can make them respect it more, but it's never perfect. Even our entire mission at the Impact Team is making sales education accessible to everybody. The comment section's like, remember guys, if you're not paying, you're the method. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, just because I want to fucking help people?
Nah, bro,
and then the back end, I mean, obviously we have to make money off it somehow. Then we're able to place them into companies and charge the company instead. But again, if that's my mission, it's my mission. So yeah, I completely agree. People don't have that level of respect when shit's free, but at the same time, the people who would have won anyways, I believe, win. The people who are going to lose, lose. So the winners, I just get to go out to more of them, and then those winners are still going to win. The losers are still going to lose. So.
I have the same experience. I tried teaching one of my friends completely for free. Bro, when I tell you that I give him everything that I give to all of my students, that they pay like more than $5,000 per head, bro, this guy just completely just ignored me.
Yeah, no, losers just are always gonna lose. They can fucking live in your crib, bro. They're still gonna lose. Anyways, losers just innately like just fucking lose, bro. They can just live in your house. They'll still end up losing. Just because like they just didn't want to go and get anything like in the first place, right? Like they just see you doing a little bit better, so they think maybe I can do a little bit better too, but not. Like you just can't.
It's funny because I think the easiest way to separate who's gonna be a winner and who's gonna be a loser is who they follow. It's the easiest way, who they relate to. For example, if I look at regardless of your opinions of him, if I look at my life and I say, okay, if I take the 50 most popular influencers, I'm not going to get political, but if I take 10 people who follow Trump or 10 people who follow Kamala, randomly, I swear, randomly, random people.
Exactly where you go,
If you look at the average income of each one, it'll give you a good fucking answer, especially young people. Older people, I don't know, because some of them fucking weird, whatever. But like younger people, I mean, I don't really know anybody in the high-ticket industry or space necessarily who follows Kamala, at least not openly. Maybe they get fucking hated.
I didn't even know she had an Instagram.
Me neither.
How did it come about you building up your own team and now actually teaching others? What was the mental switch for you to be like, okay, instead of me providing for myself, making money for myself, now I want to teach others?
I got asked to do it actually. So in the previous company, in the one that was doing 40 mil a year, et cetera, I was obviously the top guy out collecting everybody else combined. Yosh, my business partner, he's on a meeting right now upstairs, but he was the top guy before I was the top guy, also out collecting everybody combined, making $120 a month in commissions when he was 18. And so after that, some stuff happened, politics back end, I won't go into details, but CEO essentially got pushed out, blah, blah. And then after that, they were like, well, fuck, you guys don't really know how to run a business, but you know how to make money. We need money, so go figure it out. And so then that's when we started learning about business and everything else. In that process, obviously, like I paid $250,000 for my own self-education, for example, with like one-on-one coaches and everything else, from people doing 9 figures a year plus, et cetera. And so I started learning the skill set through there, and then I had to train the rest of the team. Yosh had to train the rest of the team. And so that's when I figured out I was really, really fucking good at it. There's a reason why, and if you know me, you know who that person is. There's a reason why he was not the founder of that company, wasn't the one training that sales team. There's a reason why it was us. Now, a big part of it is because when you're older, 45 or 50, and this is one thing I want to be very clear about, I don't think people that are 45 or 50, et cetera, can really teach young guys to the same degree. And the reason why is because if I think about any 50-year-old I know in my entire life, and I think about one of my best friends that's my same age, how similar are they? In terms of how they talk, they communicate, they can't fucking relate. So if you take somebody who's 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, trying to get into sales, and you're learning how you speak and your tonality and how you communicate from a 50-year-old, it's going to sound so inauthentic to a prospect. Because it is inauthentic.
Yeah, it is.
Like you have to expect it to be. And so from that perspective, it's like, well, then you can't expect that guy to teach him. You know what I mean? And so that's why we were teaching him instead. And then obviously like we had to create a very simple process, which we ended up calling the Impact Formula. And that's a process where we could train a new rep from being 18 years old, 20 or whatever, to getting on the phones and dialing within 3 days.
How many people you got so far?
In Impact?
Yeah.
About 25,000, I think.
25,000
5 months
is crazy
in.
work.
Damn, that is insane.
Fastest growing in the industry ever of all time.
Yeah. What's your long-term vision with it? Are you planning on doing something, selling it in the future?
I don't want to sell it. It's a passion thing for me.
Yeah.
One thing we are planning on getting into potentially in the future is private equity through Impact. But in terms of the B2C side, making sales education free and accessible to everybody, that's a mission that like, one thing I think is super stupid is when people have a company, and I see this with new entrepreneurs, and they decide, oh, I have this company now, what's gonna be my mission? I was telling this to you earlier. I think that's stupid because it's like now you're just trying to come up with some marketing bullshit versus if you ask yourself, what's a mission I can actually stand behind? And then you create a company out of it. So for me, it was making sales education free and accessible to everybody. Smart. So I was like, well, that's my mission. How can I monetize this? So it was like, okay, on the back end, if I take a couple of the reps, somebody like Hunter, for example, that I mentioned earlier, or if somebody like fucking Rene, who's a dude in Germany, asked us, yo, I really want to get coach one-on-one, whatever. Took a plane flight from Germany to Houston, one way without telling us, moved here. Now he's a top rep for Russell Brunson. So like randomly in like 5 months. And so if I take somebody like that after they get results and everything else, and I'm like, okay, great, I'll coach you one-on-one. They pay us 30 grand, 25 grand, 20 grand, whatever it is. Coach them, teach them up, etc. Then I'm able to help those people a lot more. And then at the same time, on the back end, I can place all those people into different companies, take a rev share on them, manage them, they pay us retainers, whatever it is, and then from there, able to make a lot more. I have to update it as well, because last month it was like 300K profit or something like that. But it's all from that. And so, yeah, I think you create a mission or a purpose, a passion, and you build a business around it. Not at the beginning necessarily, though. One thing a lot of people don't understand is, at the beginning, I don't think you should do, and this is controversial, don't give a fuck, I don't think you should do what you're passionate about or what you like. You need to do what you gotta do. Me moving halfway across the country with no resources, I don't like sales. I don't think a lot of people, I don't enjoy sales. I never did. I never liked it. I like actually hated it. I'd get onto every call with fucking anxiety. Do I really have to be on this fucking call? Yeah, I gotta be on the fucking call. I don't have any money.
I gotta provide for myself somewhere.
Exactly. And so I think initially you do what you're good at, not what you like or what you're passionate about. And I think if you're not willing to do what you're good at in order to put yourself in a position to have success, you're just fucking cutting yourself short. You're just being a pussy. Like just do what you gotta do. And then after, that's when you can start the passion business and all the other things to change the world. But you're not gonna be able to change the world if you have $0 in your bank account and don't know anybody.
Something that you mentioned that's really remarkable is that us as business owners, we invest so much into our own education. Like you said, you invested $250,000, bro. I invested over $50,000.
Like 20K.
Yeah, like 20K. And a lot of people, like they're so afraid to make the jump, the leap of faith to invest like a good $1,000, $2,000 because they think that's something they scam. Like I'm telling you, like I've like every single sales course that I have with every single one of my future students, they're like, yeah, I don't want to do it because this and that and that. And I'm like, bro, nothing's gonna change if nothing's gonna change.
Yeah, exactly.
Like how the fuck do you think you're gonna level up if you have the same mentality, like per se, as high school? Absolutely. Or the same mentality as a bump. Like nothing's gonna change whatsoever. So in reality, for those type of persons, there's no savior, bro. Like we cannot do anything about it.
People that move that like take decisions that slow anyways are just gonna end up fucking up anyways. Like I just put my money down. Either way, if it's like a shit mentorship or a shit course or whatever it is, like you'll learn something out of it.
Yeah. Now the one caveat I will say, I do think a lot of those online courses or coaches or whatever are not even argued like straight up scams. The majority. And I know the back end of a lot of them. Even a lot of them, Yosh and I have fucking trained them. And then they became sales coaches.
Wait, so
2 months later.
What do you think about like, you're doing it for free on the front, right? So like, what do you think about people selling it on the front?
Well, a lot of their revenues dropped. Massively. I won't say names,
because of you.
I know that, I know the back ends of all of them. Like us, from that fucking period of time, since we started Impact, a lot of the revenues have dropped massively. And this is really funny. Most of the sales reps for all of those people are in Impact, and we train them in the 97 a month VIP. The sales, I won't say the names, but people with 50, I'm thinking of a specific person right now, somebody with 60,000 followers, another guy who's like more anonymous, but he has a fucking company, they do like 400K a month or something like that. Even that one that we used to work at, we train their sales reps actively. Well, why don't they get trained by those sales coaches that are running the companies? I wonder why. And so it's like, crazy. But one thing I say about it is that, a lot of those courses and coaches are scams and everything else. I believe the best way to get a great mentor, and this doesn't necessarily work at the beginning, but eventually when you're a little bit more advanced, find the guy who you're like, this guy could change my life. Try and convince him to coach you. Even if he doesn't actively do it, try and convince him and then pay him any fucking amount that he asked for. Matt Ryder, our current CEO. We literally asked him, Yosh and I, he's like 90 grand. We were like, done. Actually, he has 45 grand. He has 50 grand, 45 or 50. And we were like, okay, no, but I really want you to be bought it. Like, how much can we pay? And he was like, okay, 90 grand. We paid him 90 grand immediately. That's crazy, And now he's fucking bought it.
That's supposed to move like quick, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
My last mentorship that I paid, it wasn't that much. It was like 5K. I was like, send me the invoice.
Yeah.
Pay that straight away, and we started working the same night.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, and
you have to be fast with money because that's how you move. Now, don't be stupid with it. Be fast with it.
Yeah.
Like in the last 3 weeks, there's been like 3 different things or 4 different things where Yosh was like, oh, I'm gonna pay 10 grand here, 10 grand here, 10 grand here. I have this guy, blah, blah, you can build this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, done, cool. I didn't even fucking ask about it. I trust the judgment, right? So it's like, you gotta move fast. Same thing with me. Like, I'll go to him, oh, 30 grand here, cool, done.
Yeah, same thing as this podcast, bro. You said, hey, let's run it up this day. I said,
yeah. Y'all were literally like, can we come here? Let's do it this day. And I was like, cool, done, ready.
Like, we didn't even have to think about it, bro. I talked to him. He's like, okay, done. Like, let's drop everything.
We spoke maybe fucking 5 minutes before all the way here. Yo, I'm in the lobby. Great, let's fucking do it.
And that's what I love about the type of field that we're in. The culture that we have, it's kind of like our vision, it aligns with each other, right? We have the same mission. That's actually the type of people that you got to be surrounded with.
Yeah, we do shit quick, but we do shit with intention at the same exact time. Like, this conversation would be like pretty much useless. Like, if we were just having it like by ourselves, it's just really fucking mental masturbation at that point, right? Like, this shit would be like.
It has to be in camera.
Yeah.
If it's not in camera, then what the hell?
I'll just fucking shoot myself at that point, bro. But like, we do shit with, like, quickly. We made the decision quickly, but it's with intention because we know we're gonna film this. It's gonna be good for our personal brands. It's gonna be good for clips. It's gonna be good for everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be good for the people that are watching. They get some insight, whatever. But we're talking about shit that we're talking about shit we already know.
Yeah.
So like at that point, like we're just talking about it by yourselves. Like if you guys have like conversations like this by yourself with your boys, like it's actually just fucking shoot yourself at that point, bro. There's fucking no point. There's actually no point. You gotta do shit with intention, bro. Always,
even part of like I always believe because, and the reason I always say against my belief, I don't think you should start a business when you're first trying to get into it, especially if you're extremely young. The reason why is because when you're trying to start a business, there's marketing, sales, fucking operations, team, leader. Like there's a million different skills that you have to learn at the same time. And if you're being honest with yourself, when you're a 16-year-old kid, how are you gonna master all these things at once? There's no fucking way. So I think you should choose one thing, and you should always be mastering one thing at a time. For me, it was sales at the beginning, mastered it. Then it became marketing. And then fastest growing in the industry ever. For a reason, because I fucking focused on that one skill set. And I think that applies even outside of business, like any area of life. Great, I'm gonna work on improving my relationship with my family. There's a period of time when I had to do that after, because I ran away and everything else. I had to rebuild it, right? Now I go to church every Sunday with them. I'd fucking take them out to dinner every week, like everything else, right? Even fucking dating. You're like, great, now I'm gonna find a good girl. Great, fucking go do it. Like it's, everything works all together where it's like, I need to find one thing. This is what I'm focused on. You master that, and then you go on to the next thing. Absolutely, that's how it works.
So what's gonna be the next thing for you?
For me right now, it's been marketing. I'm on the tail end of marketing, and now I'm going to operations. And even in marketing, I paid like probably fucking 100 grand just mentoring one-on-one to fucking master it. And now I'm gonna go into operations soon, then my bank account's gonna hurt, but it is what it is.
But then it's gonna grow after that.
Exactly.
And that's exactly how you grow your business. So now what's the type of conversations that you got with your family? Is it the same thing as back then when you didn't have a business? Or is it a little bit different now?
It's different. I think, so this is actually one thing I'm really, really happy about. I think one of the most beautiful parts about making all the money and having the success is the inspiration of it. Not only, and obviously an impact, like all the people I've seen first 10K a month, 50K a month, 100K, like that's amazing obviously, but even family. Like my dad now, he's talking about starting a company where he's taking the products and shit that he has patents on from the university and everything else and starting companies with it. And like, that's beautiful. Like that's made me one of the happiest things I've ever fucking heard him say, right? Same with my brother. He asked me already. We didn't end up doing it because it's not the right time for him with where he's at in life, but we're going to eventually, where he wanted to take like his mechanical prowess and combine it with like my business acumen and then like make a fucking business out of it. And even though, I wouldn't get a return on that, like it wouldn't be smart on paper for me. It's my fucking brother. I love him.
Why wouldn't you, bro?
Yeah, so like to help him. So I think that's one of the most beautiful things. I think a lot of the conversations now are a lot more focused around shit that actually matters versus before it was a lot of stupid shit.
bro, for me and my mom and dad, back then when I was like 17, 18, we would argue 24/7 because I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. I didn't know if I was going to go to the Marine Corps. Eventually I did. So I could put discipline on myself. But nowadays, bro, I help my mom. She started her own business, her cleaning business, like 3 years ago. I help her start all the way from $0 to $10,000. And right now she's sitting at $50,000. I help her create her LLC, everything on the back end. And now she's doing crazy. I'm telling you, now she's a CEO, and I'm not gonna lie. She had me when she was 16. Now she's like 40. I'm barely 26, so she's very young. And the fact that she's a CEO, she runs her own business. She's got employees. It just makes me happy, bro. It makes me happy. Amazing. I mean, you telling me that, it kind of like we can actually somewhat resonate with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with family, that's kind of the beauty of it is that like everybody. They say the 5 people around you is the person you become or whatever, and that's absolutely true. But the beauty of it is once you become, and I think this is why sales is so powerful. Once you become a phenomenal communicator, it's no like if somebody has 5 people around them and you're one of them, it's kind of like 50% comes from you and the other 50% from the other 4 people combined. Because you can influence them a lot more. And that's kind of the beauty of it. Like even, we were at a dinner with my parents and this guy who's an investor, VC, blah, blah, blah. And my dad wants to get VC funding for his company soon in the near future. So I was showing him how I'd go about it. I don't actually want funding from the guy, but I was showing him like exactly how to do it. And I explained it to him after what I was doing. And he was like, what the fuck? That's crazy. Because even inside of it, I was like, oh yeah, like a lot of VCs like were trying to like invest with us and stuff, but they just didn't really have like any technical prowess. And the VC, his eyes lit up, like why were they trying to invest in them? Why were they trying to invest? And he's asking all these questions and everything. And at the end, very intentional, and this is a little bit of sales technique for you guys, afterwards, I was like, oh, I told him my entire story, obviously making it very intentional to show the character traits that I had as a good founder. And I was like, well, what do you look for in like a good founder to know they're going to succeed? Because I know immediately what is he going to think about. Every trait I just fucking told him. And then he immediately said, he was like, honestly, everything you just described to me, word for word.
That is.
And I explained it to my dad after. And at the end, he was like, oh, I really want to follow up with you. Like, hey, can I get your contact or something? And we connected over Instagram. That was all extremely intentional. He had zero clue what I was doing, the VC or my dad. If I wanted to get funding from that guy, fucking like that.
Do you offer funding for others, or have you ever had funding, business funding?
Like, have I ever invested into somebody else?
I'm talking about like funding from the bank to start something.
No, I haven't. Well, because I was a minor, so I couldn't legally get any funding.
I was going to ask you because that would have propelled you a lot faster.
I had VCs that wanted to invest in actual investors. Don't lie, by the way. Don't fucking bullshit, right? I had VCs that wanted to invest in investors, but I think there's advantages and disadvantages. I think if you're building something around passion, it becomes very dangerous when you get investments from other people because to some degree, whether you like it or not, they kind of control you. They get to tell you, do this, do this, do that. Now, if you're very in alignment with somebody, that's a little bit different because now there's advantages mutually. But the issue is you cannot have an ego and you cannot be as arrogant to believe I am that guy. I know I'm young. I know I can be manipulated. I know some investor could take advantage of me. Now I'm lucky enough to have people like Yash and Matt Ryder and fucking a head of legal and a head of accounting and finance and a CPA and fucking tax. Like I have everything in place now so I can get advising from different people in those aspects of life. But I still know, I'm still very young. Me focusing on I want to get so good at these specific areas of my life, naturally, what are you going to do? You're going to get worse at other aspects of your life. That's just how it goes. And so, but then you have to put the focus back into it. And you have to be very intentional about like, okay, well now I want to improve in this area. And then you target that very specifically. And I think in the long run, it's absolutely worth it. Because somebody who decides, oh, I want to master marketing, but they have $0, they don't have any work ethic, and you have me, I pay somebody $100,000, work really hard, I'm going to master it way faster. So in the long run, I'm going to master all my skill sets, my stats, if you will, faster than anybody else.
There's a saying, bro, that has stuck in my mind since like, I believe 2021. There's 2 ways that you can go about it. You either pay with time or you pay with capital. And with capital, you're just going to buy a ticket for you to actually do everything a lot faster.
Exactly.
If you do it with time, who knows, it's probably going to take you 20 years.
Absolutely.
At that point, you're just wasting your time. It's
stupid.
better to invest in yourself with capital. At the end of the day, you're going to find success a lot faster. You're going to fail much faster.
And I'll bring college into it here as well. I get these comments all the time where people are like, oh, I want to go to college because it's like more safe. And like, there's still people who make 6 figures a year and 7 figures a year after college. And it's like, yeah, but they're fucking 50 years old. Making $1 million a year, what's the fucking point? What are you gonna do? You're gonna get a GT3 RS and start fucking spinning it out? Like
you're gonna be 50. Posting on your Instagram stories.
Yo guys, sons, look what you can do. Like, no, it's retarded.
Hey grandson, look what I bought.
It's not even enjoyable at that point. It's a waste of life. You have one life. I would rather, and even this even goes to the next. People talk about, oh, you need to sleep 8 hours a night and everything else. And yes, on paper, scientifically, it makes you more productive. In reality, I would rather live 10 years less of my life, but actually live than fucking survive to 100 years old. Oh my God, I have $1 million in my bank account now.
But I slept 8 hours.
And it's stupid. So
I'd rather just pop 4 of this. That's exactly what we do, bro.
Fucking rip them.
Yeah, exactly what we do every
Celsius,
day.
give me a sponsorship.
Bro, me and him, we do this shit every day. 4 of this a day, and we're just locked in. We barely get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep per night. And the next morning, we're up like a 6.
I like actual coffee, so I'll just down fucking espressos.
We drink coffee too. We drink coffee, Celsius, fucking everything.
It just hits you. It's like a fucking.
But it's for the intention that we do the actual work, bro. So many people are like fucking. Like, do everything but the way. They're hyper-focused on getting 8 hours of sleep and eating the right shit.
I saw a clip yesterday. It was somebody being like, oh, we love a Red Bull before a night out. It's like, are you fucking...
Like, what the fuck?
Are you gay? Like, are you retarded?
Are you gay?
What's the... Like, what? Use it for something. Don't fucking waste it.
Like us, but we're not getting 8 hours of sleep, but we're getting everything done.
That doesn't matter if it's like fucking unhealthy, but like that's why we're so like successful at such a young age, bro. Just because like of that like autistic fucking will to just just do the work, bro.
Now don't be this guy, and I used to be this guy, so I can say it. Don't be the guy who goes, oh, I'm gonna sleep 5 hours a night because I have all this work to do and I can't sleep 8 hours. And then during the day, in the fucking 20 hours you have, you're working for 8 of them. And the other ones are fucking playing Xbox. And I'd rather you take the 2 hours of sleep than waste your fucking time.
Nah, it's not even worth it. Going back to it, bro, like me and him, I'm telling you, 4 hours of sleep the next morning, straight up to the gym at 6 a.m. Like, I'll be knocking on his room, I'm like, bro, we gotta go. Yeah. And sometimes he'll be like, bro, do we have to go to the gym? Can we just be average today? I'm like, bro, what the hell? Like, get the fuck up, let's go to the gym. But we also got the gums, the caffeine gums. What's the name of it?
They have them in the gas station down. It's like called Rev Gum.
Those are
no, we gotta go right after, bro.
Yeah. Those are dangerous, bro. We pop like 7 of bro. It's like
I stopped because those were too much. Like I would finish a whole pack in like a day.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. My heart was like beating yesterday. It was like going like that. I was like, I gotta do something.
Seizure in the middle and start shaking.
But that's the thing that's gonna keep you focused and actually you getting the work done.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people don't do that. And as you mentioned, a lot of people just say, you know what, I'm just gonna play games and I'm just gonna sleep for 5 hours, which it doesn't make sense. Like the fuck, bro.
Yeah. Then get your sleep. Or people were in school and they're like, oh, I have to do so much homework. No, you fucking don't. What are you talking about? Even when I used to be a good student. I had like a 4.0 GPA or something. And even when I started my business at the beginning, I still had a 4.0 GPA for like only like 4 weeks or something like that. After that, I was like, I don't give a fuck. And on the graph, it was like, school counselor calling me into her office and shit.
Yeah. So that was you on your last year, right?
Yeah, sophomore year.
For me, back in senior, I'm telling you, I don't even know how I graduated. And mind you, bro, I graduated at the age of 16. Apparently, I was smart, which for me, it was normal. But apparently, I was smart. Like, they skipped me like a few grades. But on my last
this
year,
is one thing I will say on that, and I think that's super cool. I think people can develop intelligence in other things besides just from business. Like, even if you're a parent watching this, or you don't have a kid or whatever. Like, my parents made me do chess when I was little.
That's really
smart. Chess, dude, that makes you intelligent. Like, I was a smart motherfucker. I had a high IQ. Like, I worked really hard. I could find patterns. I could do all these things. And so I was rated like, I think a 1500 or something when I was I think like 12 or 13. Okay. Like ELO or something like that. Okay. So there's a lot of things you can do even outside of business that still develop that critical thinking. Yeah. And I think that's amazing. There's I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Alpha School. It was in a school now that it's a new thing where the student is an AI. And they have like an in-person teacher who doesn't actually teach them though, it just monitors their progress. And this is incredible. Out of 6 schools, I believe, all of them scored, I think it was in the top 1% in the nation on their standardized testing, only doing 4 hours a day of schoolwork. And the other 4 hours a day, which this was the part I found super cool, they would do actual real world shit. So they would practice either public speaking or starting a business, like really cool shit like that. There was a I think 17-year-old or 18-year-old who started the largest mountain bike park in all of Texas. Yeah. Sure. And he had like 26 employees, I believe, on staff or something like that. And he came from that school. The founders, she was a woman. Her daughter has like 2 million followers on TikTok or something because started from the AI and all the other shit. Yeah. So like, there's absolutely other things you can do that you should be learning yourself, or if you're a parent, teaching your kid, even from a young age. Because I do believe at the same time, if you have the advantage of knowing and trying a lot of things, then when you get older, by older I mean 16, 17, 18, now when you can start doing shit, you already know what you want to go all in on. And then you do it.
Did you ever think that you were going to be here, like in this type of position?
Honestly,
today?
No. Fuck no. I knew it was going to happen eventually. I just didn't know it would be this fast. I literally, this is the kind of penthouse I wanted to have when I was like 40. Like,
why would you want it at 40?
Yeah, but that originally you get so brainwashed into this mentality of like, oh, you need to save up and you need to have your fucking IRA and this and this and that and save the money and everything else, make 200 grand a year. And you get put into this way of thinking where I thought I was going to have all this shit. I knew I was going to have it. Yeah. There's no doubt in my brain, but I thought I was going to have it when I was like 40 or even like 35.
Law of attraction, bro.
Yeah. A year later, I have all of it. So it's like, the world works in weird ways when it's like, if you take the actions of the person who gets there, you'll get it eventually. And if you just have faith the entire time through, you'll get it faster than you ever thought you could.
The power of the mind, it's so crazy. Put into it, you can definitely replicate as long as you put in your inputs and the proper things. You were mentioning that you got your Ferrari.
Yeah, this is crazy. So I was just telling them this. In 2020, I took a picture of a red Ferrari outside.
It wasn't yours, by the way.
Yeah, no, not mine. Yeah. Fuck no. In 2020, outside of my house, my parents' house, and that Ferrari, I don't know if you can fucking see it. It's right there.
But you go to the camera.
And what? You can see it? it's not the exact same Ferrari, but now we finally got to drive this almost the same one. This is the F8 though. Yeah. We're part of that car club, which is sick.
Yeah,
and they have the F8 in it as well. It's in the shop right now though.
Yeah. And you told me that today that feels normal, but it wasn't until like the other day that you seen the picture and you're like, what the fuck? That's the same fucking Ferrari.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I saw it like 2 months ago, and I was with my parents actually, and I was scrolling back through my camera roll.
Yeah.
Just like fucking seeing the journey. I think a camera roll is one of the coolest things because it documents your entire journey without even fucking realizing it. Yeah. And then I saw that picture, and I was like, that's
How do you feel now that you have it? Do you feel excited? Do you feel happy? Do you feel proud?
You don't really give a fuck. You stop caring. Okay. At the beginning, it feels cool, right? When you drive all those cars for the first time. Yeah, but then after a little bit, I think the only, I guess, coolest part about it is the experiences that all that shit gives. Yeah. Even just money as a whole. Like, you can take your family on vacation, you can go here, you can do that. Like, that shit is very, very cool.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where you get the happiness. When people talk about, like, oh, money doesn't buy happiness,
no, it does.
That's complete bullshit.
It does.
And the saddest part is if you notice the people who say that are either people who are completely broke, who have nothing, and they're trying to fucking confuse you into believing, oh, I shouldn't be successful for some fucking reason. Yeah. This is even another point. Civilization has started villainizing success. Yeah. And it's terrible. Even, and I say this as a Christian, even a lot of like religions have started villainizing success. Yeah. Like they'll talk about, like they'll take the quotes from the Bible of like, oh, the poor man, et cetera, like he's the one who goes to heaven, et cetera. And it's not about that. You can't just take the bits and pieces that you want to make yourself feel better. Yeah. Yeah. If you're a successful person who works your ass off, you help a lot of people, you start the fucking impact team with 25,000 people, help a bunch of people achieve success and take care of their families. Yeah. Kid Dan, that now he's on my team. He was literally in Brazil, 16 when I met him. Yeah. His family, fucking in Brazil. Yeah. And now I just sent him a wire for, I think, 70 grand or 60 grand in commission.
Yeah. That's fucking
And
dope,
he just turned 18. When I met him, he was 16, just turned 18, I think 20 days after I turned 18.
Okay.
And so, like, that's one of the coolest feelings. And it's like, if you genuinely believe you're religious, you're Christian, you're Muslim, whatever you are, and you think making money and being successful is a bad thing,
it's not.
How do you help people besides that? Yeah. Your time? Fucking packing 10 baskets? Like,
no, so one thing that I can tell you is that, yeah, money definitely does buy happiness, but not directly. So at least from my experience, money buys you experiences, and those experiences are going to buy you happiness.
Yeah.
For example, me, I took I already told you this, but I took my family, my grandparents to Mexico. It was my first time making $10,000 in a month. I took them to Mexico. I just sent them a message out of nowhere. I say, hey, get ready. We're going to go to Mexico on this day. Yeah. They got ready. We landed in Mexico. I spent like $10,000 in like a whole week, which I spent the whole thing. Yeah. And I'm telling you, like.
You said that was when you first made 10K.
Yeah. So I spent the whole thing, 100% of my total profit, which is insane. You guys shouldn't do that, but I did that. And what I'm trying to tell you is that, yes, I spent everything. I was back to 0.0. It's not that I didn't have a stable income, but I was back at 0.0, right? But at the end of the day, that's something that nothing can actually bring back to me. That
also, too, it give you like more fuel too, because you got a little taste of like what it could do, and then you realize, fuck, the money wasn't shit anyways, though. So now I got to make more so I can get more.
Well, one thing I'll even say on that, I believe you are always a slave to something. Yeah. So you're either going to be a slave to money, and a slave to money doesn't mean you're always trying to make more money. A slave to money means you're controlled by the money because you don't have any. Yeah. If you work a 9-to-5 job, you don't have freedom. You have to spend time fucking working 10 hours a day away from your family, you can't do anything. Yeah. That means you're a slave to money. Yeah. Not the guy who wants to make a lot of money. He's not the slave to money, it's you.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
And at the same time, you can choose, well, I'm going to be a slave to God, for example. And you'd be like, oh, but you're not a slave to God. Well, you have to choose to be. Yeah. Who said that's a bad thing? Yeah. And then if you're doing everything for the good of people, then naturally that's going to lead you to want to make more money because that's how you have an impact.
You want to know something crazy? What I tell them every day, we got to live in abundance. I'm pretty sure you have the same saying, the same mindset, right?
Yeah.
Bro, you go to our apartment, you're gonna see everything top of the line, bro. We have a fucking toaster that's worth $700. You just press it, that's automatically, bro. Yeah. The first time that he's seen it, he's like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you gotta spend money. If you spend money,
how do I turn this bitch on? How do I turn it on?
Bro, if you spend money in abundance, that's just gonna come 10 times faster. Because you know that you're gonna get it back. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta live in abundance, and that's exactly what happened to me. And even if I spend everything on my grandparents, bro, I know that money's gonna come back. And plus, the fulfillment that I had seeing my grandparents cry when I took them to Mexico because they were in a fucking penthouse. First of all, they have never been on a penthouse ever. They're like 70. So that, bro, I don't think not even $1 million can actually fulfill me.
For sure, I completely agree. Yeah, money buys you experiences, buys you access. It's not happiness directly, but even if you think about that, buying a Ferrari, buying a Lambo, like. I'm sorry to say it, it's going to make you pretty happy. Like
it will.
Maybe not for 2 years. It's going to make you happy though.
Also, too, it'll make you more money.
Yeah, and it's going to make you more money. And then you bring in your family and you allow them to fucking drive in it or your friends, whatever. And then that brings you more happiness.
A lot of people don't see it like that. They just see it like, oh, you just spent $300,000 for what?
Exactly. And people talk about this hamster wheel of, but then you're always chasing the money.
Yeah. No.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Even.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if I buy a Ferrari and then I let my fucking parents be in it and my friends and everything else, and I get a penthouse and I can have everybody over, everybody has a great time. Then you have kids, they have success and everything else. Yeah, you're always spending more, you're always making more, but to be more happy.
Yeah.
So who cares? At the end of the day, you want to live in poverty for the rest of your life and be like, oh, I don't care about happiness. How does that make you any stronger? It's like, I forget where it comes from. Jordan Peterson said this one thing though, and it stuck with me. It was like, being weak is not virtuous. Being strong and dangerous, but choosing not to act on it is virtuous. Yeah. If you can't hurt anybody because you're a fucking stick and you're always like pussyfoot and you can't hurt anybody, does that make you virtuous and kind? No. If you can hurt somebody and you choose not to, that's virtue. That's what virtue is. If you don't have any money and so you're like, oh, I'm religious, I'm good, I don't spend on bad things because I don't have money, that doesn't make you a better person. If you have a lot of money and you choose to spend it on the right things, that's what makes you virtuous. Yeah. And so, I believe in like having power, having a lot of power, a lot of money, a lot of success, and then using it for the right things. Yeah. If not, you never even test yourself. You never even know if you're a good person or a bad person because all you do is really fucking nothing because you can't do anything.
I don't know from your experience, but from my experience, bro, every time I post something like top of the line experiences, dinners, yachts, whatever, I have some people from my hometown. They're always lighting up and they're always telling me, oh, bro, I bet that doesn't make you happy. Oh, bro, I bet you're going broke. Oh, bro, a bunch of hate. Money also brings hate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you guys can tell me, but at least that's my experience.
From people
but like,
who
look
wish
who
they
it's
could
coming
have.
from, though. It's always some like fucking dork ass redneck with a fucking anime profile.
It's from people who wish they could do it, but they can't.
It's just always a fucking dork in your comment section. And those are the ones that get like fucking the most likes, too. They get, bro, there's so many people that just like resonate with being a fucking loser.
I love it. It's fucking hilarious. People will be like, oh, another scammer, congrats on getting to take out a loan. I'm like, hell yeah. And then they start, see, you're a bad person. Yeah, as if I wasn't being fucking sarcastic, but whatever. I don't care.
How do you see yourself in the future? I mean, you're super young, bro.
Yeah.
Barely turned 18. How do you see yourself, I don't know, when you're like 25, 26?
I think about that a lot. Number one, I want to get married very young.
You do?
And have kids.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I think that's a big part of any man's kind of journey, I guess. Is like you have to have kids, you have to have a wife and everything else and settle down to some degree. So that's definitely in the future for me. And I'd probably, a lot of the modern dating thing is like, oh, you got to be 30 and get married and whatever. I think just try and find the one. So
you're trying to find the one?
He said he locked one down, right?
What?
You locked one down, right? Or not on the
podcast? Cut that. No, I'm kidding.
No. So how many kids? Like, you're trying to be, you're trying to be a husband, super young.
That's one of the only ways to cause any impact. Like, just have kids, bro. Like that.
I agree.
There's only like you start your personal brand. That's one way. And then your kids, like that's.
We're gonna have little Contreras running around, fucking changing the world.
Yeah, but like I need kids like right now. That's why I want to travel so much. But I'm gonna just start planting my seed in different
and they're just next Genghis Khan, fucking running around. 30% of the population is gonna be one of his children.
Wait, so what's your plan? What's your plan? Talk to us.
Well, with kids.
Yeah, with kids. What's your plan?
Bro, with kids, bro. Like first, like I just need to go and travel, plant my seed, bro. Bro, in 20 years, bro, you're gonna see like someone. You're gonna be like, fuck, bro, that looks like Omar. Like. And it's probably gonna be me, bro. It's probably gonna be me, bro. One day you're gonna be in Colombia, bro.
I go to Colombia. I see someone that looks like you. I'm like, bro, you remind me of my business partner from way back in the day.
Bro, it's crazy, bro. Like you're gonna see little mini me's, bro, just going everywhere. And also too, like, I got and the girl got to be like an athletic weapon too, bro. You know what I'm saying? I gotta find, I gotta find like the women that are like, you know what I'm saying? Fuck, they don't even have to be pretty, bro. Just
somebody needs to clip this shit.
They're just fucking like 6'3", bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just fuck the 6'3" bitches, bro, and just fucking, you know what I'm saying? They're just gonna come out athletic weapons and look like me, bro. So,
is that your plan, or like you're in the opposite side?
Fucking supplements hitting now.
Oh yeah, innocent, right?
The supplements are definitely.
He's like running 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, but like my what? And then after I go on that little run though, then I lock down a wife, bro. Because then like she'll never know, right? She watches this podcast. It's just
like, Omar, what the hell?
It's just marketing. You
got like 100 sons?
It's just for the clips, bro.
Isn't that what Andres did?
I don't even fucking know, bro. Like all I know, bro, is like, you know.
Bro, I'm fucking tearing up. No, but okay. On a serious note, I think your kids like.
Bro,
I'm just thinking about one day I'm walking around. Oh, it's like, oh my,
yeah,
who is
you're
that?
See, bro. But
okay, on a serious note, I think everybody should, like, your kids, my kid, they're going to be the best at whatever the fuck they do. I don't know what, they could be a fucking dancer if they want. I don't give a fuck. Well, maybe not a dancer.
But how many kids do you want though?
I don't think I know yet.
Yeah.
I do believe in settling down, finding one wife.
Because if you have like two options, you have like a lot of them, right? And then like how do you even raise that, man? You got to delegate the work, bro. At that point, bro.
You got to systemize it.
But if you have like
you got to hire VAs.
2 or 3, then you can make sure those are demons, bro.
I think, in my opinion, I think a big part of raising a kid as a dad, though, is not spending that much time with them. Yeah. I think that's to me a very controversial thing, but I think to some degree, Andrew Tate talks about this, very controversial. I think kids to some degree should have to earn their father's attention. For example, if a kid all he wants to do is fucking play video games and shit, you think I'm gonna do that with you? Fuck no. Maybe a little bit at the beginning as like a reward for something, but if you're doing it, you better believe if you wanna fucking play sports, right? You wanna be competitive, you wanna start a business, whatever, I'll sit there next to you the whole time fucking helping you. But to some degree, they gotta earn your time and your attention. My dad, for example, in my childhood, he wasn't there very often. He was traveling for work and everything else. He wasn't there very often. And I think I learned more in his absence than I would have with him being there with me. Now, is there aspects where sometimes it's like, well, I wish I'd had this life experience because of him being there? Yes. Is there things he probably could have taught me earlier on? Yes. But at the same degree, am I very grateful that he wasn't necessarily there as much? Yes, as well. And he even told me one time, we went on this retreat or whatever for school my sophomore year, I believe. And he was telling me like, oh yeah, like I felt bad because like I wasn't there very much for you. And I was like, yeah, like, I understand. But at the same time, like you had to do that. Yeah. That's what created your career, but that's also what raised me in a degree, you not being there. So yeah, I think there's both aspects, but I think a man can have a lot of kids because he doesn't necessarily have to be with them every step of the way constantly. Now for me, I don't know obviously how many kids I want to have yet because I'm very young, but I think
like a lot or just like, just a couple of years?
Not like 1, not 2, maybe 3, maybe more, I don't know. We'll see. But whatever it is, like again, I just want them to be the best at whatever they do. If they want to decide I want to start a business, great, be the best at it. They don't have to start a business.
You just have to like instill certain beliefs in them and like let them roam.
Exactly. And then they do whatever they want from there. So yeah, I think that's a massive part of it. Obviously there's some things that are off limits. Like, sorry son, you're not going to be gay.
Nah.
You're not going to be gay. It's not happening.
Nah.
That's part of it.
How would you react if he's like,
just throw him away, bro.
Dad, at school they've been telling me this, that, and that. I feel like I'm a tape.
Bro, if that happens to me, bro, if that happens to me and you find like a little kid like at your front door, bro, just know like I just left them there.
As a Christian, I believe as Christians we believe that gay, trans, all this shit, we believe that's a mental illness. We believe don't hate on them like, oh, you're a terrible person, because that's not the way to go about it. That's not religious whatsoever. But like have sympathy for them, try and help them, because that is a mental illness. That's what we believe. You have to help them get out of it. Now, I think a big part of that, I don't believe in being born gay. I don't think that's a thing. I think you develop it through early childhood, shit that happens to people you meet,
there's things that are going to influence all of that.
Yeah, exactly. If you're a little kid, a boy who spends all your time around girls, I probably have reason to believe you're probably more likely to end up gay. Naturally. And so there is a certain degree of you have to control who your kid's around, and people view that as like, oh, but you're taking the liberty. No, it's your fucking job as a parent. And so, yeah, I just know I need my kids are going to be the best at whatever they do. It's like kind of like my brother. He could be mechanical. My other brother, software engineer, everything else, but they're fucking amazing at it. That's the one thing that matters to me. And so I think it's even a big part of my mental model when it comes to the work ethic I have and everything else is like, I know if I want to instill these beliefs in my kids for them to be the best at what they do, I need to be that same. And so that's why when people around, like my parents or their friends, they always take me out, whatever, with some of their friends or whatever, they're always like, oh, like you're 18, you're so far ahead, you're so young, whatever, like what are you gonna do with your life? And it's like, yeah, but that's the reason why, because I want my kids to be in this exact same position, but with whatever they want to do.
Would you let your kids to run your company in the future? If that happens?
Yeah, absolutely. If that's what they want to do. I'm not gonna force it down them. But if that's what they want to do, absolutely. And I'll train them up. I'll make sure they're fucking phenomenal at it. But if that's what they want to do, yeah.
Now that you're all the way, you have a penthouse, you got your cars, you got everything. How does that play with your mental mindset? Do you feel like you're the man? Is your ego through the roof? How do you feel about it? Plus, you're 18. You're like very, very broke. When I was 18, I was in boot camp. So how does that make you feel?
I think people. So I was on another podcast, and he was doing a Q&A with people, and some random dude, he asked me, he was like, "Why do you have such a big ego?" I thought it was the funniest thing in the fucking world.
He asked you that?
Yeah.
There's no way.
No, not the podcaster. Like one of the random people in the audience. Of course, he wasn't the one on the fucking thing, obviously. Right? But I find it hilarious, and the reason why is because I have a massive ego. And I'm fucking proud of it.
You're supposed to,
I think my goal for everybody watching this is I want you to be so good at what you do that you can have an ego about it. Yeah. Because if I spoke like, hey guys, I know something about sales, who the fuck's gonna listen to me? Nobody.
You have no authority.
Exactly.
Fuck no.
So you need to have an ego. Number one, you need to be able to help people and influence them.
Yeah.
But number two, have an ego in the right times. If I'm speaking about marketing, I haven't fully mastered marketing. Yes, am I better than 99% of people at it? Yes. Yeah. Am I the best at it? By no means. Absolutely not. Yeah. So I can't have the same level of ego in that as I can in sales. If I'm speaking about operations, I can't have any fucking ego because I'm not even close to the best at it or even good at it. And so if I'm speaking to somebody, one of my mentors doing 9 figures a year or a fucking billionaire or whatever, I'm the little kid. I'm in the corner. Help me. Like, that's me. You know
that's
what I mean?
how you're supposed to be, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to ego and how I view myself, I have a massive ego. Yeah. And it's very, not intentional, deserved, you could say. Yeah. To a degree.
It was earned.
Exactly. And everybody watching this, that's what I would wish for them. Yeah. That they be so good at what they do that they can have that same level of ego. Yeah. And it's very similar to the people who speak on success as a bad thing or they try and villainize it. Yeah. It's very similar with having an ego. People try and villainize having an ego. No, that's a bad thing. That's taboo. Don't have that.
But they're poor.
Yeah, they're number one. That's a given. Obviously, they're poor. But even besides them being poor, it's like, I think people need to question their beliefs and what they hear a lot more. Because just think about it. If somebody doesn't have an ego and they speak like, oh my God, hey guys, nobody's going to listen to them.
No one.
And if you can't have people listen to you, you can't influence people, you can't help people, what's the point of it all? Yeah. So question your beliefs to determine which ones do I want to have and which ones do I not. Because, and we can speak a little bit more about psychology now, your beliefs and your values and your rules are what are going to drive every decision you make. For example, there's 6 human needs. This is basic for sales, communication, psychology, whatever, even just business as a whole. There's certainty, uncertainty, significance, growth, love, and contribution. Yeah. Those are the 6. And so based on that, you're always going to be driven by them. Now, here's the key. Everybody has all of them. For example, me, I'm not very driven by certainty, but I still have it. If I didn't have absolute certainty that this fucking roof on top of my head wasn't going to fall down, I wouldn't be able to speak to you guys. Be like, oh shit, the fucking roof. Let's fucking jump. Let's go. Like, I wouldn't be able to focus. Yeah. So everybody has all 6, but there are 2 that are going to drive everybody's life mainly. Yeah. And in society as a whole right now, the main ones are significance and certainty. Those are the main 2. And that's why people are so indoctrinated by the whole, 9 to 5, get a job. Certainty. That's why people on social media are trying to act cool and trying to do all this other shit. I don't give a fuck. That's why today I posted some retarded video that made me look stupid as shit. Me walking up to a girl and rejecting myself and then pitching impact team at the end of it. Okay, that was like fucking the stupidest thing I could do, but I don't give a fuck.
Let me ask you, was that original? Was that authentic?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that everything was just framed.
No.
I looked at it, I was like, bro, there's no way that he did that.
No, okay, the video was fake. No, I know the girl.
Oh, okay,
the video was fake,
say,
but us coming, the idea was original. Yeah, okay. We came up with it. Yeah. And so, but yeah, again, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Like, does that make me look like an idiot online? Probably a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing. If you're trying to grow, let's say on social media, if you're trying to grow your personal brand, you definitely have to have people talking about you.
Yeah.
It cannot just be comments of just people just, I don't know, commenting fire emojis.
Yeah.
You have no hate. If you can have love, but you cannot have both of them.
Yeah. So and you can kind of create it in a funny way. I don't believe in creating hate for the sake of creating hate because
definitely not.
You become like a fucking Jack Doherty or something. I don't know if you know.
Or like a clown, yeah.
Yeah, he's a fucking clown. So you become, and even if you look at behind the scenes footage of him, he's a super chill dude. He's a really nice guy. But on camera, he just acts like a complete dickhead, so everybody fucking hates him. I don't believe in hate for the sake of hate. Yeah. I believe in being who you are, and then hate will naturally come with it. Yeah. I love that. Fucking hate. There's a dude who commented like, holy loser. And I replied under, I was like, bro, you're flexing a Corvette. What are you doing? And then everybody in the comments underneath, a Corvette's a supercar, a Corvette. Everybody arguing in the comments. I'm like, do you think I give a fuck? No.
That's like, more views, bro.
Exactly. That's why I did it. That's why I did it. And it's smart because he's like, oh, you skipped 3 sales calls just to reply to my comments. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't make money off of this. I make money off of this. I get the views, and that video's at like 250,000 now. I posted it 2 days ago.
I think Andrew Tate framed this a lot better. It's the law of polarity. You cannot have hate without love.
Absolutely.
And you cannot have any of them without any of them. You got to have the opposite force. You cannot be sad if you've never experienced being happy.
Absolutely.
Same thing goes about it.
And I'll even speak about happiness for a second. What I was saying about the 6 human needs, those are the basic human needs that determine how you act. Now, this is the key. You can have things that you value. For example, I value love, right? Now, the key is there's rules that allow you to determine each. For example, somebody could view starting a business as an extremely certain thing. I know for a fact I don't want to do my job. I know I'm going to succeed in this. I'm going to go balls to the walls, all out. I'm going to make it work. Yeah. That's certain. Somebody else could be like, I've used starting a business as the most uncertain thing. This is all the failures. So many people fail. So many people don't make it. It's uncertain.
It is. Yeah.
So there's rules, and that's what's called a rule in psychology, where it's a rule to allow you to feel a value. Another example, somebody could be like, if I'm in a relationship, she needs to go on 1 date a week with me for me to feel loved. Somebody else could be in a relationship and be like, she has to call me every fucking day, text me 10 times a day, and go on a date with me 3 times a week to feel loved. Yeah. And so the same shit that's gonna make me feel loved won't let him feel loved, and vice versa. Those are rules to be able to feel a value that you have. And so when it comes to that, then you start to analyze it, and that's what causes happiness or unhappiness. Yeah. So when you're just talking about happiness a second ago, it's like, if I feel loved by going on 1 date a week, for example, let's think about it, then I can feel loved in that relationship. Yeah. By the other dude's standards, who needs her to fucking text him 10 times a day and everything else, he could have the exact same relationship I have and feel extremely unhappy. Yeah. And it's because of the rules he has to feel those values. Yeah. And when you consider it from that perspective, it's the exact same in business and everything else. And a lot of people think about like, oh, but you don't need to be happy. That's bullshit. You need to be happy, not the fake happiness of pleasure. That's completely different. You need a true fulfillment. Because if you think about it, if you're in a peak state, I'm energetic, I want to help people, I'm passionate. Yeah. How much more can you do? How much more can you achieve than if you're down, oh, I'm so sad, my life's shit, I'm terrible. Like, you're not gonna be able to do anything.
You want me to tell you something? So for me, at least, we do not do anything that we do, like work, gym, or anything like that to feel happy. For me, I do it to feel proud.
Exactly.
Whenever you feel proud, by byproduct, you're gonna feel happy, right? And it goes the same way when we're talking about the journey, right? The journey is what matters the most, because at the end of the day, when you get to the destination, guess what? If you didn't find true fulfillment through the journey, the destination is not gonna matter. So you gotta feel proud. By byproduct, you're gonna feel happy.
I agree with that. The only caveat I would add is that a lot of people think they're supposed to feel pleasure. Again, that concept of pleasure during the journey. For me, in my journey, working 18 hours a day, doing sales, which again, I mentioned, I hate. I do not like sales. Yeah. That's not enjoyable to me. But when I look back, in that moment, I hated it. Like I really did. Yeah. But looking back, those are some of my most fond memories. Yeah. The reason why though is because when I look back at those memories, it's real, it's alive. Yeah. What people don't understand is most people live such a boring, unalive life, if you will. Yeah. Right? They go to a job, they get told what to do, fucking write a couple of emails, do this. Like it's so boring. My day, dude, the amount of ups and downs and ups, like as y'all were walking in, I got a payment for $25,000 profit, right? Okay. Like a normal person gets paid that in 4 or 5 months. Yeah. I got that in a second without even knowing it was coming.
Well, not even 4 or 5 months, bro. That's 30,000 is average, like minimum wage, bro. So that's pretty much like a 12-month salary.
Yeah, that's fucked. Yeah. I think I'll show it after. Actually, I'll show it right now. I think I think everybody should.
Yeah, it's that camera right there.
Because there's so many fucking scammers that if you don't see the shit yourself, I think it's bullshit. This is one payment processor, by the way. This is not.
Quick flex.
Flex break. I'll reload. Okay, is it zoomed in?
It can't zoom in, but it's visible.
Okay, I'll reload it. There. We're at what? 33 grand for the day. That's on one payment processor. I think it's like 40 total or something like that. But even with that, it's like the ups and downs that I feel in a day-to-day life are fucking a million times higher than the average dude working some shitty fucking job who hates his life.
Yes.
And so naturally through that, it's like, I think the key to it of fulfillment and passion and living is to feel alive. And feeling alive isn't just from the ups like that. Yeah. Feeling alive, a lot of it comes from the downs. In those moments, that level of pain of working 18 hours a day doing something
that's when you feel alive. Yes,
it feels like shit, but it's one of the most alive feelings you can feel. Pain is being alive. Mm-hmm. It is, at the end of the day. Yeah. And you cannot enjoy the ups without enjoying the downs. What I mean by that, if you don't have a down, you don't know what an up feels like. Yeah. That's why the kids who are born into fucking absolute super rich families, like, billions, whatever, I almost feel bad for them because they never get to experience that level of high because they've never had that level of high. Or they're never proud of themselves because they already have everything handed to them. Exactly. And so I think that's one of the hardest things that can happen to you. But like even in that regard, it's like, yeah, I think enjoying the journey doesn't come from, oh, I feel pleasure, I feel happiness. Enjoying the journey comes from feeling alive through it. And so you should sit in that suffering, in that pain, sit in it, even though it feels like shit. Yeah, it does feel like shit, bro. I feel it though, I'm alive. Yeah. I feel something. Yeah. Bro, every morning, I swear, like, do I want to wake up after having 3 hours of sleep? Fuck no. Do I want to go to the gym at 6 a.m.?
Bro, every time I'm waking him up, I already told you, like, this motherfucker's like, bro, just let me sleep more. I'm like, nah, bro, we gotta go to the gym, bro. Do I want to go to the gym? Fuck no. I'm like half awake. I'm like going to the gym like this. Do I want to hit the gym? No. Do I want to take pre-workout? No. Do I want to work? No.
As soon as you do it, just
after that, bro, it's automatic, bro. But byproduct, you're gonna feel happy because you're like, okay, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
I did something that I thought that I wasn't gonna do, and that's what we do on a consistent basis, and that's pretty much the whole journey. Then after that, once you get to your destination, once again, you're just gonna feel the euphoria for like a quick 30 minutes, an hour, maybe a day, maybe like a whole week, and then it's gonna go away.
Yeah.
That's when the journey comes back again, and
Absolutely.
you're supposed to have another mission.
Where did like the like want to like go full-fledged for it? Because most people like have to have some shit like happens to them before they go like all the way, and like their mom has to die, or like they get to have a breakup before they go like all the way deep into some shit.
I'll be
They always
vulnerable
have
for
to have
that.
like a deeper rooted
Yeah.
why before they start something. But also to like, for me, like I didn't really like have like that either. Like the fucking like.
So this is really interesting. I believe everybody has it.
Yeah.
So the key is sometimes you don't actually know what it is.
Yeah.
So for example, the 6 human needs, if let's say I value significance,
Yeah.
right? But I don't have any social media presence, everybody at school fucking hates you, and your fucking parents don't talk to you. You have no way to get significance. But if that's your thing that you value the most as a human being, you will find a way to have that need met.
Yeah.
It could be by fucking downloading some fucking dating app and doing some gay shit. Like, there's a million ways that you could get it.
Yeah.
But the key is sometimes you'll realize, you'll be fortunate enough to realize, well, I can get this by doing something greater, and then that could become business. I guarantee you getting into business, for example, it was because of one of your 6 human needs that wasn't being met that you felt could be met more. It might not have even been intentional. I would think about it that way if I was you later on, because that becomes a superpower for you. Once you know what it is, that's a superpower. For me, for example, from the beginning, it was absolutely a significance thing.
Yeah.
Because at school, I always felt that I didn't fit in.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that's really interesting, and I think this will help a lot of people watching, if you feel like you don't fit into the group that you're around or the area that you're in, you assume by default that you are inferior, you are worse. When very often you feeling like you don't fit in actually means you're better. Because if you're in a society of fucking losers and you feel like you don't fit in, guess what? Chances are you're a winner.
Yeah.
But people don't think of that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't fit in, I'm a piece of shit, I'm terrible, right? And you start feeling sad, whatever else it might
I feel
be.
like that's how every single one of us started, bro. From my end, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro, I was super skinny. Bro, I'm gonna show a picture after this, bro. I was like barely 90 pounds back in
You
high
went into
school.
the Marine Corps?
No, in the Marine Corps, when I went in, I was like 100, but I was still like super skinny. It wasn't until like I went in the Marine Corps, I started eating better, I started lifting weights, bro. I'm telling you, after that, I felt like some
they
type
fucked
of
you up in
beast.
Even now, I'm on that journey. I just paid a personal trainer $11,000 for 3 months.
Yeah, he just
That's
paid
fucking
personal
low.
trainer too.
Yeah.
Same
fucking
thing, bro.
best
I'm
investment.
telling you, bro. And that's the
Shout
best
out Joe.
Shout out to him, bro. And that's the best investment that we can do, bro. I paid a coach because at the end of the day, bro, I feel like I've reached my max potential, like just by default. And I'm like, bro, I need some tweaks, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the same thing for you, right?
For sure.
Yeah, but that's the thing, bro. We felt inferior back in high school or like back in our days.
Yeah.
For me, it's gonna be my days. And looking back at that time, I'm like, damn. I had something in me that was telling me I need to do something better. Either go to the gym, create a business, or do something else because I didn't fit in with any single one of my friends. They were all bullying me 24/7. They're like, bro, like you don't even lift weights. So I had to prove them wrong.
Exactly.
So that's where my why came about. And also my family because they were broke.
That's exactly what it was for me because since I felt inferior, again, you assume if I don't fit in, I'm inferior. And then when I felt inferior, since I have this competitive nature, I need to win, I need to destroy, I need to fucking tear people to shreds.
Yeah.
That's my nature. And actually, a lot of people might be thinking like, oh, but that's not my nature. Like, that's not who I am. That is your natural nature. As a man, your nature is to be competitive. Yeah. That is just how it is. It's survival. It's winning. It's destroying. That is your nature as a man. And so if you don't feel that that's what it is, it's not a case of, oh, I need to get competitive. You need to remove the shit that stops you from being competitive. If you have people around you that are constantly telling you how shitty you are and how you lose everything you do, whether it's your fucking parents or friends or your circle, whatever else it is, that's going to kill that. It's going to extinguish that fire inside of you. So you have to remove the things that prevent you from feeling that. Every man, that is their nature by default. And a lot of women end up developing it, especially because of all feminism and all that other shit happening now, right? But he's like, oh shit, I don't want to go down this hole. I'm not trying to get canceled this early in my career. No, but with that, so like, what was I saying? Because of that, that was my natural nature. I'm competitive.
Yeah.
And being around these people, feeling inferior, that's a clash. That doesn't match up. And so from that, I decided, well, great, I need to find a way to be my outlet for this, for this competitiveness. And again, that's going back to the very beginning. That's when it became soccer for me. And then that didn't work, injury, et cetera. And then it became business and sales and everything else. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's where that hunger comes from. And I think every person has it. Every man has it.
Everyone has it, bro. Everyone has a why. They just need to find it.
Exactly.
Whether it's their family, whether it's them trying to prove someone wrong, or actually trying to make money for their family because they're broke, right?
Absolutely.
That was my why, but what was your why?
I was just deprived of money, bro. Like, that was it, bro. Like, people talk about, like, motivation. Like, the way you find motivation is just find what you're deprived of. Like, that's what I was deprived of. I just had no fucking money. Parents have no money. Everyone around me has no money. Like, that was it.
He's
Yeah,
actually from the hood.
Bro?
Yeah,
it's fucking terrible, yeah.
Royal, the guy I brought that we're doing the series with, I don't know if I should be announcing that. I don't give a fuck. He's like from actual hood, like boiled water for hot baths, single mom, taken by his dad, a bunch of shit. He has a whole story. We're breaking down that video.
Bro, but believe it or not, bro, I grew up with no Wi-Fi. I keep telling him that and he doesn't believe me. I grew up with no Wi-Fi. I remember my first month with Wi-Fi. It was one of the cheap. I think my dad couldn't afford it, so he grabbed the cheapest option that he had. It was like, I don't even know how many gigabytes per fucking month, but it was a limited one.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, we capped that out in like less than 5 days. So we had Wi-Fi for 5 days, and then after that, the rest of the month, we had no Wi-Fi, bro. It was like back in the trenches.
I never bullshit about that stuff. I didn't grow up like that. I had the experiences and everything else. And I think if you're, I think there's benefits, there's pros, and there's cons to everything. Like I was saying earlier, if you grew up ultra rich, you're never gonna have a sense of like accomplishment, like, oh, I did this. You're also not gonna appreciate it as much as if you've been poor at some point in your life. And I think by default, because of that, I didn't grow up like that. I also didn't grow up poor. I was like middle class, if you will. And so because of that, like, I think you have to be able to put pain into your own life.
Yeah.
If you grow up in that way, for example, you grew up super rich, whatever else, you have to put it onto yourself. That's why I told you before the podcast even, I told myself if I wasn't making 20 grand a month by the time I was 18, I was gonna go to the Marines or some branch of the military, but I thought it was gonna be the Marines, right? And it was because I knew and I had the self-intelligence and the, I guess, what would be the word for it? Internalization, being able to like analyze my own brain to be able to be like, I need pain in my life. That's part of the reason that caused me to drop out, move halfway across the country, run away from home and everything else. Because it was like, I need to be on my own. I need to know what it feels like to have my back against the wall,
you need a sense of
nothing
urgency.
going for me, and actually figuring it out. So like, I think if you grow up middle class or rich or whatever else, you have to put that pain on yourself. If you grow up poor without money, to a lot of degrees, you have a benefit of the hunger, the fucking drive to do it. I would say, and I would actually be curious to pull up statistics on this, I would say there's probably more people that start poor that end up rich versus people that start at like lower middle class that end up rich. I would say.
I would definitely agree with that.
Because they have a lot more drive, especially the younger guys. I don't know about older generation and everything, but if you look at young millionaires, I would say that's probably true.
Or like if you see young rappers, bro, it's the same thing, bro.
Exactly.
All of them grow up straight up in the mud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they have to, they're already in the pain, so then they come out the other side.
They got everything to gain because they're already at rock bottom. There's nothing for them to lose. Well, brother, I mean, it's been a pleasure. I'm not gonna lie, we had a really insane good podcast, a lot of value. Give out some free game, bro. Something that a lot of people pay for and you actually want to give back to the community.
You know, like how would you start? As someone like literally just starting off to get to where you were right now.
I think if you view sales, and I'm not one of the people who have an ego about like, oh, you have to go down sales, this is the only path, because absolutely not. There's a lot of ways you can do it. If you feel called to sales and you feel like, great, I feel like speaking to people, I can communicate, I can do this, I can do that, or even if you feel like you can't, but you feel like I could be good at it, then I would say the best way to get started in sales specifically, again, it's my mission, make sales education accessible to everybody, make it a real opportunity. So like we give all our scripts away for free, modules breaking down every section, the psychology behind it, free coaching calls, like fucking offers, influencers you can start selling for as soon as tomorrow, regardless of your experience. Like we give it all away. So if you can literally look up my Instagram, go to my bio and click through there. But then what I would recommend, step one, you have to choose a framework. Again, I don't have an ego about like, oh, you have to use mine. If you're young and you want to get into it, you don't have a lot of experience, I'd recommend you use it because my entire goal with making it was for young people to make it extremely simple, right? But if you've been in sales for 5 years, you have a process that feels natural to you, great, use it. I don't have an ego about that, right? So step one is you have to choose the framework. After you choose it, you have to write it because you have to internalize it. There's a difference between memorization and internalization. Memorization is I ask you, what's the next question on the script? You're like, oh, this is the next question. Internalization is I wake you up at fucking 2 a.m. with a bucket of water. What's this question? Oh, it's XYZ, sir. Like that's internalization, right?
You're going to be traumatized.
That's the difference though. And that's when you get so good that now you no longer have to think about your questions. And when it's internalized, you're able to focus on who? The prospect. Because now you know internally what you have to do. And so you're able to focus on the person in front of you. That's step two, internalization. The best way to do it is by writing your script. So when I was starting early in my career, write it 3 to 5 times a day. Every single day. Now, even today, to this day, still write it once a day. Just to stay in practice, right? Even though I already know like the fucking, not even back of my fucking foot. Like I just know it, right? Nobody could get it out of my head. Step 3 is after you have that, you just got to start making calls. You got to start working. Because a lot of people, they put it off. Oh, I need to be great. I need to be perfect. No, you just got to start doing calls. It's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
And so then step 3 is I would get an offer. Now there's a couple ways you can go about it. Again, Impact, you can literally put people on offers for free. Yeah. That's my mission. But if you're an outreach for your own, or you're a minor, for example, it's very hard for us to place you. And so like the way I did it when I was a minor is I found 3 companies that I really resonated with. Yeah. Their mission or their founder or like something about them of what they wanted to change about the world, right? Okay. And then I found every email within that company. I would go, I'd find the name of the founder at xyz.com, whatever it is. I went to their fucking tagged post and found everybody that was tagged, right? All their employees. I would guess common names, John, Mike, fucking Sarah, like all the most common names. Yeah. I would guess support at XYZ, info at XYZ, sales at XYZ, tech at, like all the ones. And I'd send, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 dozen emails per company.
Okay.
To all the people in the company. And the structure of it would be first the mission of that company. Their passion. What do they want to change about the world? Why am I so attracted to it? Step 2, either your experience, your skills, or if you don't have any, then it's why are you so motivated? Why are you so driven? Okay. Now, the key here is a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm hardworking. I'm coachable. Dude, I've interviewed hundreds of people. I've coached thousands. I've never had somebody tell me I'm not coachable. Never. And so if you just tell them that, they don't believe it. So the key is you have to tell them an experience that backs it up. Okay. For example, if I tell you right now, I'm a risk taker, and you know nothing about me, okay, cool.
Anyone says that. That's general,
exactly.
Yeah.
But if I tell you when I was 16, I dropped out of high school, ran away from home, halfway across the country, started working 18 hours a day for years, and now I'm here making $300,000 a month.
Anyone's gonna want to work with you.
Oh shit, he's a risk taker, right? Yeah. You start to believe it. Yeah. And so that's the difference. So step 2, if you don't have skills and experience, then your motivation and what are things about you that give you those character traits, experiences you've had that made you have that character trait. Right? And then step 3 is you tie them in together. How does that motivation, how does that experience, that skill set tie into that company reaching their potential, their passion, what they want to change about the world? You tie it all together. And then my recommendation, what I did personally is I attached a Loom video at the end that basically said that same kind of structure, but in video form to put a name to the face. And then again, I sent that, I personalized it to every company, not to every person, that's a bit excessive, but to every company. And then I sent it to those 3 companies. All 3 of those companies had multiple people within all of them try and hire me. Because they didn't speak to each other. I would have 60% of them would turn me down, fucking, I don't know, 20% wouldn't even reply. Okay. Then I'd have like 10% from every company. I'd have like 3 dudes from each company try and hire me. Okay. And I ended up taking one of them.
Would you say anyone can start even though they're 16, 17, 18?
Yeah, I started at 16.
Okay.
Very limited
So
experience.
It's never late, even if they're 25.
Yeah, it's never late. No, absolutely not. Even if you're 25, you have more experiences to write on. Okay. Right?
For anyone watching, you guys know that.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what I would do. And then after you get on that company, then use that script that you've been writing, you've internalized, and use it on every call, and start adjusting. So that's step 4, adjust, right? I have this thing that I always say. If you improve 10% a month for a year, 12 months, how much do you improve? See if you got it right. 10% a month for 12 months.
120. Yeah, right?
No, wrong. No. If you do the math,
10%,
see, I fucked y'all up.
Wait, 10% for 12.
It compounds.
1,200.
No, it compounds.
Oh,
so it's like 320%
right.
or something, right. 317.
I don't even know how to do the math, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean, I calculated that shit one day. But it's compounding. And so you end up improving like a 3x at the end of the year. Not 120%, a fucking 3x, which is a massive difference, right? And so, again, then if you go by that math, it's like, well, now my entire goal is, okay, how can I improve 10% a month? If you want to be ambitious, honestly, when you're young, it's very easy to do that, 30% a month, for example. Yeah. When you go from thinking, I'm going to go 9 to 5 college to finally making the decision, no, I'm going to get into sales, business. That's much bigger than a fucking 10% jump. You can do that month 1. Yeah, so like it compounds really quickly. And so from that, what I started to figure out is, okay, at the end of every week, I'm going to write all my data for the week. How many calls did I make? How many people picked up the phone? How many did I set? How many showed up? What was the average cash per deal, the AOV? What percent of people upsold? What percent got results? Like all your data, you track it meticulously. At the end of every week, and I have pictures of this, I can try and pull them up after. I'd write it on a whiteboard and I'd highlight every number, green, orange, or red. Obviously, depending if it was good, green, mediocre, orange, red, bad, right? Okay. My bad numbers were still better than everybody else's fucking good numbers. But regardless, then I'd highlight it red and I'd be like, okay, this is what I need to fix. Okay. And so after that, I'd decide on one change to make to fix that number. Okay. And for example, it could be adding a question in the process. It could be changing my confirmation process or like, I don't know, doing a different upsell strat, like whatever it was. Yeah. And then based on that, at the end of the week, the next week, I'd go, okay, did it work or did it not work? And if it worked, great. What's the next lowest number? The next red number. And then one change. If it didn't work, remove it, try again. Another change. And over time, again, that compounding effect bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually you're the best.
That's way better than the S&P 500, bro.
Way better.
8% a year,
Yeah,
bro.
it's like an 8% a year. Bullshit, right?
Bro, motherfuckers want to invest in the S&P 500. They want to make 8% a year.
Exactly.
That's
It's like,
nothing.
it's,
Especially if you have $1,000. What is that going to do to you?
Exactly.
It's never gonna
Compound
change it.
yourself.
Yeah.
Compound yourself. It's a lot easier to compound yourself than it is to compound cash.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's why I spend so much on self-education, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah, from there, that's step 4.
Yeah.
Now you start improving bit by bit by bit until eventually you master that. And then step 5, and again, this is way further down the line for everybody, but it's like once you've mastered that, then you start doing what I've done, where you find other skill sets to master. And you can decide what you want to do. You could run a company. You could become a sales manager. You could decide, I'm going to be a top rep, and I'm just going to be the #1 guy forever, and I'm going to be insane at it. Because if you learn marketing, you're going to be a better sales rep, for example.
Yeah.
Now you can do better VSLs, better confirmation process, like all these different things.
That's true.
You could become better at operations. Now you're tracking every lead list that you can call and being like, well, at this time, this lead list between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. has a higher pickup rate. Yeah. This one between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. has a higher pickup rate, for example. Yeah. You start tracking all these specific metrics. And once you've done all that, if that's what you want to focus on, operations, you know which list to call, which one's more productive. You could decide, I'm going to become a phenomenal leader. And you build a team of setters underneath you. And you train them up. You make them really, really good. Now they're setting, now you have better calendar utilization, for example. Right? Okay. So you can choose other ways to grow. And that's going to determine where you end up going with your career. But I'd say those are kind of the 5 main steps of really improving. One caveat I'll add on this before we wrap up, I think will be very helpful for people, is do not be the guy who goes, I'm going to go from working 1 hour a day or 0 hours a day to I'm working 16 hours a day. Because it's never going to work. What you're going to do is you're going to start teaching yourself, I say I do something and I don't do it, I fail.
Yeah.
It's not realistic to go from 0 to 16 all of a sudden like that. And when you fail, what are you doing? You're lowering your self-confidence. Yeah. I can't do what I say. So instead, in this process, between those 5 steps, what you do is you go, I work 0 hours a day. Great, now I work 1. Now I work 2. And you do the 2 for a week or 2 weeks. Not until it feels good, because it will not feel good, until it feels normal. Okay. And once it feels normal, then I can bump from 2 to 5. Until it feels normal. 5 to 7. 7 to 9. 9 to 11. Until, again, they feel normal.
18-hour days.
Exactly. And then you get to 18 hours a day, and it feels like fucking normal. It feels like nothing. Yeah. Do I like it? No.
All you need is caffeine, and you can.
All you need is caffeine and supplements, and you're good.
For everyone watching this at home, you guys have 0 excuses for you guys to start. We had one of my good friends right here. First of all, appreciate you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
He just laid out a whole blueprint that took it from 0 all the way to $300,000 in a singular month, which is crazy to think about. People make that. Who knows?
And by the way, this isn't talking about fucking e-com where you have 5% margins. What I showed you online, that is 100% profit margins. That is 100% margins. So you guys, e-com.
You guys got the whole value from the source. You guys got no excuses. Start today, and let's get it going. Other than that, it's been a pleasure, bro, once again.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Omar.
We out.
And we are out. Let's go and get some steaks, boys. Let's go.
Done.
I really appreciate you, bro.
That was good, bro.
That was a good podcast.
That was really good.